Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Our respectful homage to our most venerable teacher Bhante, our Kalyana Mitta Gurudevottama, Pinvat Loku Swamin Wahanse. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Venerable Bhantes in the monastery and dear Dharma friends, everybody, so happy to see you today to talk about our Supreme Buddha. If you remember, we talked many things in our last episode. I asked this question from someone else to talk about a little bit about something that we learned in our last episode. How about Dinu? Okay, maybe Subodha or Hiru?
We learned about Moggallana Mahathan Wahanse and Sariputta Mahathan Wahanse. Like when, first, they were Sariputta was named after his mom Sari, and he was also named I think Katissa, after his dad.
Okay, good memory. Yes. What do you remember, Dinuda? Something beautiful we learned. Yeah. Anyone else? Dimal?
Sign we learned that Sariputta Mahathan Wahanse became the right-hand disciple of the Buddha, the chief disciple, and Sariputta Mahathan Wahanse is second to Buddha in wisdom, and Moggallana Mahathan Wahanse is the left chief disciple of the Buddha, and he is second to the Buddha in psychic powers.
Good memory. Okay, now today we are going to talk about a lay disciple who was a very powerful member of the Supreme Buddha's dispensation. He became the chief generous person, benefactor maybe. Do you remember who he was? The name that we have that topic to talk today. Yes, Subodha?
Someone says it Anathapindika.
Yes, that was Anathapindika. Anathapindika, the banker. He became the chief supporter of the Supreme Buddha's dispensation. He was very rich and he became a very powerful, very faithful disciple of the Supreme Buddha. He was fortunate to attain the first stage of the enlightenment in this life, and he was fortunate to reborn in the Tusita heavenly world. After his death, he became a Deva, the heavenly being. Still, he is a powerful disciple of the Supreme Buddha. Maybe he is supporting still to the dispensation. So that's the topic that we have from the Acharya Manasa book from our Lokaswami Wahanse gave us with his powerful confidence. So let's see. This is the introduction of the Anathapindika, the banker. This is a picture I got from online. And then Kevin and Laura, what about your reading? To talk about Anathapindika and to know about who he was.
My Swami Mahansa. Anathapindika the banker. Anathapindika was born with the name Suddha, was the wealthiest merchant in Savatthi in the time of the Buddha. He is considered to have been the chief male patron and benefactor, sponsor, supporter of the Buddha. Anathapindika found the Jetavana monastery in Savatthi.
It's very important information we see. Who founded the Jetavana monastery in Savatthi? Who offered that monastery to the dispensation? That was Anathapindika, the banker. Okay, the patron, right? Linda, what was that word?
Patron means he's the person who support financially mainly to the monastery, Bhante.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Form of it.
We will talk about more about Anathapindika like this. Your chance.
Anathapindika is a banker of Savatthi who became famous because of his supreme generosity to the Buddha. His first meeting with the Buddha was during the first year after the Enlightenment.
The Enlightenment. First year after the Enlightenment. Very early time that the Buddha was Buddha became the Buddha. He came to the Supreme, and that's the story we have today. Wismith, how about your reading to the class?
My Bhante. The merchant Suddhanta became widely known by the nickname Anathapindika, literally, the one who gives alms to the helpless. Due to his reputation of loving to give it to those in need.
Okay, so there is something more that we have in this slide. That was his birth name. He was not Anathapindika by birth. That was not his name. What was his name? Sudatta. This is the name, Sudatta. Sudatta was his birth name. But later on, he was famous in the name Anathapindika. Anatha is the people who have nothing. Maybe helpless people, or maybe homeless people, or maybe poor people. Okay, Anathapindika is the dana or something, or giver or something. So because of this great contribution, he was known as Anathapindika. That means the one who gives alms to the helpless. That was his good reputation in the country.
Swami Mahansa, I heard that there was something called Anathapindika's monastery. Does that mean he built it?
Yeah, we have that information too in this episode today. Anathapindika's monastery is the monastery which was offered by this generous person, Anathapindika, also that. Because of that, because he offered that monastery to the dispensation, that monastery was called Anathapindika's monastery. Jetavana Anathapindika's monastery in Savatthi. Savatthi is the city. Jetavana, we have that to talk. Savisha and Sivanta. This is the Anathapindika's monastery they have.
The Supreme Buddha's Ganga Kuti in Jetavana Monastery. As chief patron, Anathapindika fed large numbers of the Buddha's monks daily and regularly maintained and supplied Jetavana Monastery.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Swaminathan,
Ah,
the monastery doesn't look really built. It just
Pute, this is the remain of the monastery. Earlier in the Buddha's time, this was like a heavenly world. Now we see only the ruins of the monastery. This is the kuti, this is the chamber, the small place that the Buddha lived for a long period of time. In Savatthi, that was offered by Anathapindika, Sudatta, the patron. And he was always happy to maintain, gives everything to the Supreme Buddha, to the Sangha. Now it's just UEC, the remains. It's the nature of the world, Puthi. It's the nature of the impermanence. Everything becomes impermanent. Even the Buddha's kuti, we see just like this today. Do you have anything to talk about this place, Linda? With your experiences that you visited? How did you feel actually when you went there?
Oh, sorry, Bante. It was a very peaceful place, especially at nighttime. The feeling, the atmosphere is more like, how do I put it? It's very serene, like it's totally different than the feeling when you are in Canada or in other part of the country. It felt more like a lot of devas were were there surrounding us.
And do you feel that the Buddha is still alive there and sitting and preaching or something?
Yes, Bante, you actually can feel that. You can imagine how the Buddha is still there. And the kuti of the Supreme Buddha, boys and girls and Bante, actually it's right, like, you know, it's not here. This is just the entrance in the picture. But the kuti of the Supreme Buddha is just a small room. It's way at the back. So if we, I don't know how to explain, but yes, there, Bante, yes. That's the kuti of the Supreme Buddha. It used to be a room there, but what we are seeing on this picture is just the foundation of the kuti. The room itself has collapsed because people came and took the bricks, I believe, for their own personal use, which was very unfortunate. So, but we are still very fortunate to see the foundation at least. And it's a very small room. Considering that Bante, and he's such a great teacher for us, this is showing us that how humble Supreme Buddha was when he was still alive, that he lives in such a simplicity state. So
it's a very sacred place where the Buddha lived. The Supreme Buddha slept there for a long time. We can pay our homage to the Gandhakuti. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you for everything, Linda, you shared for the benefit of others. Okay, Subodha.
At one time the Buddha was staying near Rajagaha in the Cool Grove. Now at that time the householder Anathapindika had arrived at Rajagaha on some business. He heard a rumor that a Buddha had arisen in the world.
This is what the story starts, where the story, the Anathapindika was a banker and he was visiting his sister's place, and there, Cool Grove. It is in Sinhala we say Snitavana because of the atmosphere maybe. It was called Cool Grove. And then Anathapindika, from his brother-in-law, he knew about the Buddha was born. Aga.
His wife was the sister of the Seti of Rajagaha, and when he arrived, he found the Seti preparing a meal for the Buddha and his monks on so splendid a scale that he thought that the wedding was in progress or that the king had been invited.
Sadhu, sadhu. What was that? That Anathapindika, the Sudatta's sister, was living there. And when he was visiting the city for special reason, for business actually, he saw that the house is like, it was like a festival season. Maybe they are getting ready for a wedding or something. And he was so excited to know about the reason. Why are you doing such a thing at home? What are you doing? Do you have a ceremony or wedding or something at home? You're getting ready for that or something? He questioned. Anathapindika, or the Sudatta, questioned his brother-in-law. Tuinidu gets the chance.
Hey, my son, right away he wanted to go and see the Buddha, but he thought, it's too late to go and see the Buddha today. I'll go and see him tomorrow. He went to bed thinking of the Buddha.
Sadhu, sadhu. Now he knew, he heard, Anathapindika heard about the Buddha from his brother-in-law, the Seti. Seti is a noble person or the merchant or a rich person. He's also a banker or a business person. He told about the Buddha to Anathapindika. Then he was thinking, maybe I will go to see the Buddha tomorrow, early morning. And he went to the bed. He was so happy to see the Buddha. And the Buddha was born. The Buddha was born. I want to see the Buddha. I want to meet the Buddha. That's what his mind says to him. Maybe Hiru.
On learning the truth, he became eager to visit the Buddha and did so very early the next morning. He was so excited by the thought of the visit that he got up 3 times during the night. When at last he started for Sitavana, the road was quite dark, but a friendly yakka, Sivaka, sped him on the words of encouragement.
Sadhu, sadhu. What happened was, now he is on the bed. He is on the bed thinking about the Buddha. That was like thinking about the Buddha. Buddha should be very serene, calm, and he is wise person, enlightened. That's how he was thinking. With the information he got from his brother-in-law, and his mind became Buddhanusati, recollection of the qualities of the Supreme Buddha. With that feeling, with that recollection, his mind became serene and concentrated. And with that concentration, samadhi, he saw that was like everything is eliminated in surrounding. It's like the daytime. It's like the morning, but still the dark night. And when he looks around, it was like very light, like very illuminated. It's like the sun has come already. And then when he looked at the clock to see this time, he knew that it's midnight, and he went back to the sleep again. And again, after that, he woke up, and when he looked around, he saw that it's like the morning. It's not dark. And next time also, when he watched the clock to see the time, he knew that it's not the morning time. It's not still the morning, the dawn. He went back to sleep with the Buddhanusati feeling. And again he woke up and he came down from the palace and started going to see the Buddha. But it's still night, not the morning. But he can see everything surround. Everything was very clear to him. And see, it was like this again, if I go to the slide. He was so excited by the thought of visit. He got up 3 times during the night, when at least he started Sitavana, the road was quite dark, but a friendly yakka. So when he came to the cemetery, maybe the path to the monastery, Sitavana, was nearby a cemetery. Cemetery is not like a cemetery you see here in Canada. It was very, maybe frightful, maybe dark and stinky, and maybe some jackals and coyotes, they come and they make noise, something like that in the Buddha's time. When he came to the cemetery, close by the cemetery, his mind became different, like he was frightened. And then that Buddhanusati feeling disappeared. With that disappearance, everything that was clear to him became darker. Why? That concentration was gone. You understand that? Then a yakka called Sivaka said this beautiful gatha to Anathapindika. Just goes to Tinuli's sister, to Winnie. English part.
100,000 elephants, 100,000 horses, 100 horse-drawn chariots, 100,000 maidens, decorated with jewelry and earrings, are not worth a 16th part of a single step forward to the Buddha.
We should actually need to memorize this beautiful gatha. You can repeat after me. Yeah? Satang hati satang asa.
Satang hati satang asa.
Satang asa tari ratha.
Satang asa tari ratha.
Satang kanya sahasani.
Satang kanya sahasani.
Amukta mani kundala.
Amukta mani kundala.
Ekassa padaviti harassa.
Ekassa padaviti harassa.
Kalang naganti solasing.
Kalang naganti solasing.
That's how that yakka, Sivaka, explained about the importance of visiting the Supreme Buddha. So he is coming to see the Buddha. Anathapindika in the dark, he was coming to see the Buddha. But all the time he was distracted and he was frightened, scared in the dark. And then the yakka, as a deva, he was a deva actually, he said, Satang hati satang asa. If you get 100,000 elephants decorated with gold and gems and very valuable ornaments, satang asa, 100,000 horses decorated with valuable ornaments. Satang asa tarirata, and you get 100,000 actually, 100,000 horse-drawn chariots, the carts, very comfortable horse carts. How many? 100,000 actually. Huh? Satang kanya sahasani amukkamani kundala, 100,000 maidens decorated with jewelry and earrings, like with beautiful women. And so you have everything like this as a lay person, to enjoy your happiness in this life, everything like very luxurious, comfortable, and everything you have. But if you keep that happiness aside, ekassa padaviti harasa are not worth 16 part of a single step towards the Supreme Buddha. Now you're going to see the Supreme Buddha. That step that you keep towards the Supreme Buddha, if you divide into 16 parts, are valuable than 100,000 elephants, 100,000 horses, 100,000 drawn carts and women. That is the importance, the value of the step that you keep towards the Supreme Buddha. If I had something for this explanation, I read in the document, in the what is it called, Fatua? Commentaries, everyone. 16th part of the step is explained like if you divide your step into 16 parts, you get a small piece, right? And that's not the exact part which is explained in the commentary. Then you divide that small part again to 16 parts. Then you get a small thing multiplied by 16. Then now you did that 2 times. And again, you divide that again into 16 parts. And you get a very little distance of that. And you divide that small part into 16 again. In that way, you divide that step 16 times. And then you get a small piece of distance. That's just the exact meaning the commentary explains about this ekasa padaviti harasa kalang naganti solasing. This is the word solasing. Single step to the worth a 16 part. And if I add something for this actually, this is the importance that you have the confidence, the Shraddha in your mind towards the Supreme Buddha. When you go to a monastery, when you go to visit a stupa or a bodhi tree or maybe a statue or something, you keep steps, right? And then you go to see the Supreme Buddha. It's not something very simple. It's not something that you should not consider about. That's a huge thing. That's a tremendous thing. That's a very most important thing you do in this life. It is like, it is not worth like to 100,000 elephants decorated with thousands of gold and gems and silver ornaments, 100,000 horses, 100,000 horse carts, 100,000 maidens with everything. It's not worth like that. That was so important, so valuable, so crucial actually in your life towards the Supreme Buddha, going to the Supreme Buddha. One step, 16 parts of a one step is worth more than that. Okay, Senon. English part.
Okay. Go forward, household. Go forward, household. Going forward is better for you, not turning back again.
That was what Sivaka Deva said. Go forward, go to the Supreme Buddha, go, and that was something very important. In Pali, you say abhikam kahapati, abhikama kahapati, abhikamantam te seyo no patikamanti. So that was it. Dinara. That was the Buddha sitting in Jetavana.
Then the darkness vanished, and light appeared to Anathapindika. His fear, terror, and goosebumps settled down. Then the householder Anathapindika went to the cool grove and approached the Buddha.
He went to the Supreme Buddha, to the cool grove, Jetavana. And then Buddha was like this, Minipur.
The Buddha was staying in the Jetavana, and when Anathapindika reached there, he found the Buddha walking back and forth, meditating in the cool air of the early dawn.
In the dawn, in the morning, the very morning, Buddha was meditating. And patron Anathapindika reached the Buddha, Minipas Nangi.
The Blessed One descended from the walking path, sat down on the seat that was prepared, and said to the householder Anathapindika, "Come, Sudatta."
Sudatta. So the Buddha already knew the name with the great wisdom of the Buddha, the divine eye. He knew that Sudatta was coming, Anathapindika was coming to the Supreme Buddha. He called, "Come, Sudatta." And then maybe Anathapindika was really, really, really happy. And he worshipped the Buddha like this, Linda.
Then Anathapindika thought, "The Buddha calls my name." Smiling and delighted, he bowed with his head to the Buddha's feet and said to him, "Sir, I trust the Buddha slept well."
He was so happy to worship. This is not actually Anathapindika in the picture. This is Pasenadi of Kosala king worshipping the Supreme Buddha. But to take an idea that Anathapindika worshipped the Buddha like that, I gave this picture to you. It's beautiful, huh? I give this chance to maybe Dinu.
Amos answered. A Brahmin who is fully extinguished always sleeps at ease. Sensual pleasures slip off them. They're cooled, free of attachments. Since they've cut off all clinging and removed the stress from the heart, the peaceful sleep at ease, having found peace of mind.
Sadhu. When he asked, "Did you sleep well?" the Buddha answered like this: a Brahmin who is fully extinguished always sleeps at ease. So this is a gatha, a meaning. Sensual pleasures slip off. They are cooled, free of attachments. Since they are cut off all clingings and remove the stress and the heart from the heart, the peaceful sleep at ease, having found peace of mind. It's a beautiful meaning, huh? The Buddha explained about himself. This picture is about Bimbisara, King Bimbisara visits the Supreme Buddha and invites him to come to his kingdom. But I gave this picture to you to get the meaning of the Anathapindika worships the Buddha. Now let's get the chance.
Then the Buddha gave a progressive teaching talk to the banker Anathapindika. Talk on generosity, talk on value, talk on rebirth in heaven, talk on suffering of sensual pleasures, talk on the filth of life with defilements, and talk on the benefits of renunciation.
Sadhu. What was this type of teaching talk is called? We made this many times.
Samokansika Deshana.
Samokansika Deshana. Yes. Ruchi and Rui. Okay, your chance to read.
Anathapindika was immediately covered and became a Sotapanna, the
Christian
of stream and tree. Thereafter, the banker Anathapindika went for refuge to the Triple Gem.
Triple Gem. All of a sudden, when he listened to that explanation, he became a stream engine. So fortunate, huh? And he needed to go for refuge to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And he did. Chamudi.
He too invited the Buddha and the Sangha of monks to the house of the banker of Rajagaha and offered plentiful of alms food. He also invited the Buddha to come to Savatthi.
Sadhu. He offered dana. Do you remember this picture? It's not about Anathapindika. Hiru, do you remember this picture? Who was sitting actually nearby the Buddha?
It's about Yasarahan.
Yasarahan Bhante. Yasabhante's mom and dad, father and mother are here. Mother is was the mother of Yasabanti?
Sujata.
Sujata. They are offering alms food to the Supreme Buddha. But this picture is for you to understand that Anathapindika offered dana. Kemit, your chance. Again, we are here in the Jetavana monastery.
After the meal, which he served to the Buddha with his own hand, he invited the Buddha to spend the rainy season at Savatthi, and the Buddha accepted, saying, "Dear householder, the Tathagatas take pleasure in solitude." "I understand, O Blessed One. I understand," was the reply.
Yes, now, sadhu sadhu. Anathapindika is happy to offer this monastery to the Supreme Buddha, the Buddha's dispensation, the Mahasangha. Senila, you're listening?
Ehemai Bante.
Yes, you're reading.
When Anathapindika had finished the business at Rajaka, he set out towards Savatthi, giving orders along the way to his friends and helpers to prepare dwellings, parks, rest houses, and gifts all along the road to Savatthi in preparation for the Buddha's visit.
For the comfort of the Mahasangha and the Buddha. He built this. This is the map of India. You see the Sri Lanka country too. And this is Savatthi. You get an idea where it was still. And this is a nice story again. Goes to Dimal.
He bought the park at great expense and built the famous Jetavanarami. As a result of this and his numerous other supports in the cause of the Sasana, Anathapindika became to be recognized as the chief of almsgiving.
I give this chance to Tuinidu and Tinalidu to explain about the picture, if you know the story. What was in the picture? This is the land for the monastery, Jetavana monastery. But this is Jeta. His name was Jeta, the Prince Jeta. And he is dealing with Anathapindika. What was going on here? If you know this?
They were collecting like the coins that they were dealing because they were all scattered among the floor.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So this is how he was selling the land to Anathapindika to build the monastery. Jeta, the Prince Jeta, is selling this land. How much did you did you want for the land? Did he want? The gold coins, like spreading gold coins throughout the land. That's how he dealt. He dealt to sell his land. But Anathapindika was not that rich. When he was throwing, when he was laying throughout the land the golden coins to buy that land, his treasury was empty. Like he was bringing the golden coins from his treasuries in the carts, but it was not enough for that. But there was a part left without spreading the golden coins. Then Jeta said, "I sell this land. This is for me. This empty part is for me. I give this land, but this is enough," he said. And Anathapindika was happy to buy this land, spending such a big amount of money. That was his Shraddha, everybody. See? With your chance to read the next one. Again, this is Anathapindika spreading the golden coins throughout the land.
Ehemai Bante. Anathapindika's personal name was Sudatta, but he was always called Anathapindika, the feeder of the poor. Because of his generosity, he was, however, very pleased when the Buddha addressed him by his own name.
That was something, again, we learned from about Kevin and Laura. He's building the monastery.
He spent 18 crores on the purchase of Jetavana and a sum like on the construction of of the Vihara. Another 18 crores were spent in the festival of dedication. He fed 100 monks in his house daily, in addition to meals provided for guests, people of the village, invalids, etc.
Okay. Yes, sadhu. He is building the monastery, spending lots of money, millions of money for the Supreme Buddha's dispensation. Toronto Zenon. This is where what we see, his land, his mansion, his house actually, the Anathapindika's house remains like this today. Zenon.
Anathapindika's house, though partly ruined, it still stands tall and majestic at Shravasti, Uttar Pradesh.
Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh is a province in India. Uttar is the northern province. Okay. I said that Anathapindika was he passed away and reborn into the heavenly world, Lucifer. And that's what we learn. Now goes to Aga again. This is Deva.
Becoming an excellent disciple at his old age, the householder Anathapindika died and reappeared as a Tusita Deva. Then late in the night, Anathapindika, as a young Deva of surpassing beauty, illuminated the entire Jeta's grove and approached the Blessed One.
Sadhu. Now he is a Deva and he is so happy to see the Jetavana monastery because he offered that to the Buddhist dispensation, and he came to the dispensation. Dimali, your chance.
After approaching and venerating the Blessed One, he stood to one side. While he was standing to one side, the young Deva Anathapindika spoke to the Blessed One with polite verses. Poetic.
Yeah, this is what he said.
Swami Wansa, can I say it?
Okay.
This is Jeta's grove, visited by a community of sages, inhabited by the king of Dhamma, producing rapture for me.
Sadhu. He was happy to see the Jetavana monastery. And Devindu.
Activity, knowledge, Dhamma, and virtue, the ultimate livelihood. By means of these mortals are purified, not by lineage or wealth.
Sadhu. He was happy to see the Bante's monk. Nisha. Again, the Jetavana monastery. He was saying in verse.
Therefore, a wise person, seeing one's own benefit, should wisely investigate the Dhamma, where one may be purified in this way.
Sadhu. Imasha and Shivan.
A monk who has gone beyond can, at best, only be the equal of Sariputta in wisdom, virtue, and peacefulness.
Sadhu. He worships the Sariputta Venerable Bhante. He was so loving and caring. Vinu again.
This is what the young Deva Anathapindika said. The Blessed One approved. Then the young Deva Anathapindika, thinking, the Blessed One has approved of me, venerated the Blessed One and disappeared right there.
Sadhu. He disappeared. He admired the Buddha and the monastery, the Sangha, and he disappeared, saying that Gatha. This is for everybody.
Sadhu.
Good. So this is about our chief generous person in the dispensation, Anathapindika. the other name, the birth name was Sudatta. He became Anathapindika later on because of his generosity. And he was so fortunate to meet the Buddha. And he did a great job to the dispensation. And he became a stream entrant and was born to sit the heavenly world. And he's still there. Maybe understood more Dhamma to achieving the highest levels too. That's what we learned today.